Hannah, thanks for coming along to talk to us about your experience at Sudbury Valley. You went to public school and then went on to Sudbury Valley. Talk to me about that experience of both schools.
So I went to public school since I was young, and I always hated it and always felt like it was an unnatural way of learning, that I was always told what to be learning, how to be learning it, when to be learning it, and that very clearly didn't work for me. And once I got to 9th grade, I decided I wasn't going to do it anymore, and I started looking for different school models, and I found Sudbury Valley School, and it was very clear to me very fast that that was the way I needed to learn, in the way that learning occurs naturally. And so I decided to go there, and I told my parents, and they were supportive, and I went there for 4 years before I graduated. Public school was constricting, gave me anxiety, didn't feel like I could be myself, felt like I had to be protected, just like in jail pretty much, and was just miserable all the time. And going to Sudbury Valley, I felt I could really explore and be myself and figure out my processes and how I want to walk through life and how I can do that. And so being at Sudbury Valley, I felt like I learned how to be myself.
There are no structured lessons in Sudbury Valley. So talk to me how a typical day might be for you, if there is such a thing as a typical day.
The only thing typical I can think of for everyone would be they sign in when they get to school and they sign out when they leave. Anything in between is dependent on the person, on what's happening at school, on what they feel like doing that day. So really anything you feel motivated to do.
What most interested you over those 4 years you were at Sudbury Valley?
I loved being part of the judicial committee. So the school is run by everyone. All the students and all the staff have the same amount of power, and rules are created by everyone. And the judicial committee is a group of people, 2 elected students that get elected every 3 months, a group of other students that rotates every month, and 1 staff member that rotates every day. And if someone in the school has a problem or breaks a rule or sees someone else breaking a rule, they can write a complaint and give it to the judicial committee, and they meet every day and they go through the complaints and see what happened, talk to everyone involved, figure out if and what rules were broken, and decide on the consequences, if any, that will be given to the person breaking the rule.
What might be typical consequences of breaking rules?
It is totally different depending on what rule is broken, who breaks the rule, if they've broken it before. So it could be anything from just a warning saying, you haven't broken this before, you need to realize what this rule is and be responsible for it, and you can't do it again. Or it could be something like you have to go around school and pick up trash because you littered. And if it's something really serious and the judicial committee feels like the whole school meeting, so all staff and students should have a say in it, they can send it to the school meeting. And then anyone who wants to attend can attend and discuss and decide what happens.
One of my fears as a parent is that you go through a school without any formal lessons and you end up not being able to get a job, maybe being homeless. I mean, those are very real fears that most parents share. From your class that graduated last year, what have they been going on to do?
I know many who are at college now, studying math, philosophy, becoming doctors. So there's that. I haven't gone to school. I know what I'm interested in, and I've found different paths to do that. And I also know people who are just working, doing what they love and they have a passion for, and learning about that. And I think the common denominator of everything is that the people who graduate feel comfortable about what they want to be doing and can make it happen, know how to make it happen.
A question about your parents. How did they feel about the process of you going to a very different school?
So when I told them about it, they didn't know what Sudbury Valley schooling was. I told them about it. They brought me to an interview and I had a visiting week, and it was very clear. It was clear to me very quickly that this was where I needed to be. And they saw that as well, and they were very trusting of me, that I knew where I needed to be. And very quickly after I started attending, they saw I knew how I needed to go through this, and that I was learning my own process, and that it was working, and that when you have the freedom to discover that for yourself, you can walk through life with it. And they trusted that, and they gave me that freedom to do that.
And looking at yourself and your future, what do you see yourself doing over the next year and into the future?
I have many different passions. I have been working at animal sanctuaries the past year. I love being with animals and taking care of them. This coming year, I'm helping start a new Sudbury school in Prague, which I'm excited for. After that, I don't know, wherever I find myself going. I don't have a set path right now.
And just one final question. Would you send your kids to a Sudbury Valley type school?
Of course.
Thank you very much, Hannah.